Okay.
Transition actually, I'm going to give you the sprint triathlon version of a triathlon clinic. We don't need as much for a sprint triathlon as we do for a half or a full Ironman. So let's not bring all that. All that does is create more things to remember, which can lead to more things that we tend to forget. So let's keep it really straightforward. We're doing a sprint next week, and after watching most of you ride today and the run, you know, this is probably 100 minutes to anywhere from 70 to 100 minutes of activity. So our needs are relatively small. So they're simple. First thing, when transition starts the night before, what I encourage everybody to do, and David's heard this 10 times, and some of you have heard it a couple times, is to inflate your tires right before you go to bed and check them in the morning. Because contrary to what most people believe, most flats, and there will be flats that happen, do not happen in transition. They happen because there's a slow leak or something in the tire. And what happens with people is they don't inflate their tires until they get to the race or in transition area, and they feel fine. And they come out of the swim and they've slowly started to decrease their air pressure. So I would highly recommend that you inflate your tires the night before and then check them. And let's say that you have a flat. There will be mechanics here that morning to help you change them. So you don't have to get flustered and freak out. Just come up with the flat tire, go to the mechanic, and they're usually really good about getting it changed for you very quickly. And so then packing your gear. I put my bag together last night exclusively as if I was racing next week. First thing that goes on the top of my bag is my helmet, because I can't race without this, and they'll check you when you come into transition. Transition, as you know, is right over here. There will be people waiting for you to body mark your arms and your calves. You don't need to do that. Danny, are you going to have body marking at Pack a Pickup?
Haven't arranged that yet. I'm thinking about.
If we don't, then it'll happen here. So as you approach transition, they're going to ask to see your helmet. So I put it on the top rather than burying it all the way at the bottom of my bag. And so I've been body marked, and I have my helmet. And at Packet Pickup, which we should probably mention, there's a Thursday Packet Pickup at CK Sports, which is on the east side of town. And there's a Packet Pickup on Saturday in Capel, which is not far from here, at Bicycles Plus. Both of them are on the Caveman website. You're going to be getting race numbers, and I'll talk about race numbers for your body in just a second. And they have a bike number, right? The cardboard ones with instructions on how to put them on.
I got the kind that are adhesive, so you can just
stick them. That's even better. Yeah. But there's a diagram. It's easy. If you're uncomfortable or unsure of where they should go, don't put it on, and we'll help you once you arrive on race morning. I've got my bike numbers. My tires are inflated. I've entered the transition number. Let's say that I'm number 490. 490 out of 500 would mean I'm right after 489 and right before 491. This is irrelevant to you because we're going to put all of you guys in the same sequential numbers. But in sprint triathlons and pools, everybody, so if you're number 490, 491 is going to swim right behind you. It keeps the flow of the transition really very smooth. So you guys will be up front. Your numbers will be low. Everybody here should be between number 1 and number 30 or 40. So once you're in that row and they're marked on the end, that's where you'll put your bike. How do you rack your bike? I saw David playing with Danny's bike. You can do a seat rack like this, or for those of you that have another preference, you can do a handlebar rack where you put your brakes over like this. Either one are fine. So I've got my bike inside, and next week I anticipate my workload at a sprint triathlon to be relatively high. So if you're familiar with a high workload, it's kind of tough to ingest a lot of fuel and a lot of water. So the only thing that I would recommend, David might be different, is just bring a bottle of water. That's all I would take with me next week, because it could be hot, it could be humid, who knows what it's going to be. But that's a safe bet for me to carry. Am I going to carry any fuel? The answer is no. I don't need it for that amount of time. So I've got my water bottle on here, and I've made sure that my lid's on tight, so if I pull it with my teeth, that it doesn't come off, and I've opened up the top of my water bottle so it's easily accessible. I know the course now. How do you want to ride the course? This is very important. Most people will leave here and they'll be in the wrong gear. And you'll hear the click, 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 click. You'll see chains dropping between here and the stoplight because they're in the wrong gear. Yeah. Today we came out and it's relatively flat with a slight downhill. And then we turn right and there's some hills. How do you like to ride? So I would adjust my cassettes accordingly. Most people don't adjust their cassettes accordingly. For those of you that have speedometers, now's the time to change them or put them back to 0. All right, next thing that I do is I check my brakes. Many a rider, and David can attest to this, will come off the bike and say, God, that bike was hard. Felt like I had my brakes on the whole time. And some people had their brakes on the whole time because their brakes were off. You put it on your bike rack and it got adjusted. You put it in your car and the bike, something happened. Check your brakes. So my brakes, okay, I'm ready to go. My tires are inflated. Okay, I've got my bike rack. My bike is racked. Okay, my next thing is my helmet. My helmet sits right here. And am I going to wear sunglasses? I did today, so I'm going to put these in here. Next thing is my shoes. Let's see what else I got. My swim goggles. I've got my swim cap. I've got my towel. I have everything that I need. I'm done. If you want to bring some fuel, this is something I should probably mention. Yeah. Is for those of you, transition opens at what time, Danny?
5:45.
5:45. Parking is going to be an issue. And if you want to be here at 5:45, you're going to have an hour and 15-minute wait. If you get here at 5:30, or some people will be here at 5:30, depending upon when you get here, you might be hungry. So you might want to put a snack in your bag. I would have a snack of some sort in my bag. I didn't bring one today, but normally I would. Well, wait a minute. Nice. I got some Southwest Airlines honey roasted peanuts. I do. I got them.
They still give those out.
They do.
Not on American.
So I don't need this anymore. All this is going to do is get in my way. So I'm going to put it as far back in here as I can to get rid of it. And again, you'll have a transition towel. If you had to guess, James, what color do you think 90% of the towels will be next week?
White.
Blue.
White.
White.
So don't bring a white towel. I use a pink towel or a striped, or that tie-dye would be awesome. It tells us a lot about your personality.
I would do that. I do